So welcome to the Photoshop tutorial. First thing I do is I launch my photos in Bridge. I like using Bridge to as a sort of a starting off point. So I'll find the file. There it is. Fire it up in Bridge, and you'll see the first thing I do is I go down to my clarity slider. And the clarity slider is all about how sharp the picture is, how much tone you have in the skin, how much shadow you want to have. It's completely personal taste. For some photos I use it very little, for some photos I use a heap. Again, personal taste. Some people don't use it at all. Okay, so once we've launched into Photoshop, the first thing we do is we go down to Gradient Map. We're going to convert it to black and white. I prefer Gradient Map so much more to just straight black and white conversion. It's so much more accurate, much better tones. We go to the Burn tool, and we're going to set I'll show you the settings in a second up the top there, but I'll hide them in a second. With the Burn tool, it's turning the white as possible. So you really take your time and you just move the cursor around. Just get all the white areas really, really white. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Take your time with this. Be careful that you don't bleed too much into any light patches on the skin or on the body, so we've got to stay away from those knee pads. With the arms, careful with the skin, all that sort of stuff. You really want to try and make sure your picture isn't blown out at all. Really important that you get that as separate as possible. That's pretty much it. I mean, I've rushed it, but you get the idea from that. You can see how kind of straightforward that is. Just work your way around it. So these are the settings up here. Highlights, so that just picks up really bright colors, and exposure is 14, so it's really sensitive, so it's not going to leak over onto the skin tone too much. And that'll pretty much do it. So there's a before and after. You can see just really changing that background to white really makes a huge amount of difference. Flatten the image, make it one file. Then I like to crop it to 8 by 12. That's the normal setting, but if you have it at 8 by 12 centimeters in Photoshop, that lets you adjust things really easily. Canvas size, then change to 8.1 and 12.1, and it gives you a nice black border if you have black as your background color. Last thing I'm going to do is, because it's a huge file as it is, I'm going to go over to image size. Resolution, that's huge. 300 pixels per inch is big enough, and you'll see that is a good size to put something up on the web. If you want it larger, if you want to print it, you don't have to do this step. But otherwise, that's it. Save as. TIFF files are huge. You want to stay away from TIFF files. JPEG is great for online. You can also do a save as a web file, but this is just as easy. And that is it. Done and done. You can see last thing here, a comparison of the two. Snapseed on the left and Photoshop on the right. Subtle differences. It's your call.